Hey everyone, this is Doug Kenny along with Justin, and we welcome Bill Hynes for another interview on stories from motorsports. What's with the interesting cap, Bill?
Yeah, this hat is it's a kind of an inside joke between me and Stadium Super Trucks and the announcers and stuff. One of the races, I hit a jump and I went like this in the air, and so they all were joking around, and there was like, you know how the internet memes like pew pew pew, like shooting. So it was Detroit many years ago, so it just kind of stayed with me. So I saw this hat, and it's actually a Star Wars hat, I guess, from Star Wars, and they go pew pew pew, yeah, and so I don't know. I thought it was funny, and I was like, you know what? I got to wear it on the show here, and and just and I'll start wearing it at races too, just to goof around. So
That's really cool. Are you
yeah,
racing in the series this year again?
of course, yeah. Why wouldn't I be? I'm the besides Robbie, I've been the longest tenured driver in the history of the Stadium Super Trucks, and I have the second most starts all time. And so, you know, how is Justin and Doug doing these days, huh? What have you guys been up to?
I've been up to, let me think, 5'5", 5'10".
Oh, nice. Yeah. See, Justin got the number 9 hat on. So
Yes.
nice. Yeah.
And showing off the YouTube brand.
Oh, that's nice. Yes. Relentless and unstoppable. I love that name. It's such a positive name. And you guys can do anything. You guys are awesome. Such as like Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Batman, like 2 co-stars.
For the motorsports division, yeah. This one
yeah.
is also my partner with Andy McPhee. This is my partner with him, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, Andy. I know Justin. I like Justin.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. So fire away, Justin.
Yeah, fire away, Justin. Hit me with your good questions. You get the hard ones.
So when does your season begin for you?
We're gonna start the season this year at the Long Beach Grand Prix alongside IndyCar. So we're one of their main support series, and I believe we'll do Long Beach. We'll do Mid Ohio with IndyCar. We'll do Toronto with IndyCar, and then we'll also do Nashville. So I don't know if you guys are planning to get out to Nashville again. And I think there's a couple more. We're going to run a limited schedule, so we're not going to do 10 events this year. We might do like 6 or 7, just because of COVID and you know how the climate of the world is right now. And then look for 2023 to go back to a full complement of Stadium Super Trucks racing.
Great to hear. So there's also a division in Australia, right?
Actually, there was. It just got canceled, actually. And V8 Supercars had obviously they've had issues with us for a very long time just because they thought we were dangerous. But, I mean, what racing isn't dangerous? Heck, in the NASCAR at the Daytona race, they had a piece of the car come off and fly and almost hit a couple drivers, including Bubba Wallace, Michael Jordan, and it went into the grill of one of the haulers of the truck. So could you imagine that piece killed Michael Jordan? Like, that would have, racing is dangerous. When you go to a track, you sign a waiver going into the track saying, hey, it's inherently dangerous. We can be killed. So we know what we're getting into, but that's part of the draw of why fans go. Okay. And for us with Stadium Super Trucks, they want to see the train wreck. They want to see this, the circuses in town, and we're fine to be that way. Like, that's what we bring. Like, look at in your background, you got Robbie Gordon's like this behind Sheldon Creed. And, that's what we bring. We bring that excitement to the fans. And you look at those fans, look in the background. That's Adelaide, actually. I believe that's Adelaide. No, that's not. Yeah, that is Adelaide. Packed. That's one of the best events in the world, and they had canceled that event a couple of years ago. So hopefully they bring that back too. But maybe one day we'll go back to Australia, but we don't know.
Yeah, definitely. What made Robbie and the series go to Australia during that time?
We first went in February, March. It was February of 2015 was our first year. And then we went to to Adelaide, which is, like I said, probably one of the best events in the world. It's such, I mean, they get like 400,000 people attend the whole weekend there. So like we're on the starting grid and it's like a canyon of fans on either side. And you can actually hear the fans screaming through your helmet. Now in our helmet, we have our helmet on, we have a balaclava on, we have our earpieces on, we have race control talking to us, and you could still feel and hear the fans. It was very palpable. It's like gave you goosebumps. And then over there, they have lights go out, like kind of like F1 circuit. You don't have the flag really. So, and then the lights go out like, oh, we're in a race, because you can get caught up in the moment with that. But I mean, honestly, money kind of makes the world go round. And when the promoters in Australia were like, hey, Robbie, come to Australia, this is what we'll pay you. I mean, yeah, that's, at the end of the day, it's still a business. It's like, why is F1 coming to America now in not only Austin, but in Miami? It's money, but and what dictates that are the fans. The fans want to see it. So that's why they brought us over there.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So talk to us about any new parts and pieces of the truck this year.
As far as the truck?
Yep.
I mean, Robbie keeps the truck pretty much the same. I mean, we may have, what tweaks is like he tweaks, maybe it's a newer version of the shock. Maybe there's a new tire manufacturer comes on board. But pretty much we they make some, Robbie's always making safety improvements. Like if he can find a way to make the truck safer, that guy's always doing that. He builds one of the best trucks there is. He's actually building his own UTV car line, and it's gonna put Polaris and Can-Am and all those other companies to shame. So it's Speed UTV. I mean, if you're gonna buy a car, one of these things, and you're going to have fun with it in the desert or even race for it professionally, would you want some geeky engineers building it that doesn't know really what racing is? Or would you want a legend like Robbie Gordon, and his dad, Baja Bob Gordon, trained him, and look at his son is on his way to being a legend. Like, this is a family steeped in history of racing. Like, I don't know. I want that guy building my truck and my car. And, that's who I would buy it from. So so all those safety improvements he's learning on that go into the truck so that we can put on a great show for you. And then we jump high and we go fast. So
definitely. That's really cool. I definitely pick Robbie to build my car. He can do everything.
Yeah. Why would you pick like a guy named Joe, whatever, nobody knows him and he's just in a lab doing this, you get the guy that actually has, thousands and thousands of hours of seat time in the desert, in the off-road. He knows what shocks can do. And the guy can drive anything. Like, he's a champion in all motorsports. So like, I don't know. I put my faith in him because hey, listen, I've been doing stadium super trucks pretty much from the beginning, and I'm here talking to you guys, So,
that's really cool. Didn't he find himself at odds with Australia at first for a burnout?
That was a funny thing. So it was, we were in Townsville, I believe, or Darwin. We were in Darwin, and after the race, we did a promotion with one of the sponsors, and the truck was outside. And actually, one of the security guards at the restaurant where the event was being held told Robbie, like, "Hey, do some donuts." But the guy was an off-duty police officer, so Robbie's like, "Oh, okay." And we've done this before in Vegas, and LA, like, heck, we drove stadium super trucks down the Vegas Strip doing burnouts and hitting curbs, and the Vegas police were like, yay. So in Australia, they didn't find that funny. And so the very next day they came to the race. After the race, it was actually Matty Brabham's truck. And as Matty Brabham's getting out of his truck, the cops are about to arrest Matty Brabham, saying, "Hey, where were you last night?" He's like, "I was in my hotel room sleeping," because Matty Brabham wasn't there, but Robbie was using that truck to do the donuts. So, and then, so they confiscated the truck. They were going to actually crush it and scrap it, but they didn't do that. And Robbie had to pay like a small little fine, and that was it. But, it kind of blew over, pretty quickly. But,
So are you looking forward to your schedule coming up here?
Yeah, I'm absolutely looking forward to the schedule, but I'm kind of sad because I wish there was more races. I wish we were going to more like cities that we normally would go to. Like honestly, like this weekend is St. Pete. I wish we were racing in St. Pete, but it just they didn't offer us a slot. Or actually they offered us a slot. I think they only offered us like one time slot, which was like a race on Sunday. But with Stadium Super Trucks, we're not a car series. We can't just go into a race weekend, jump in the trucks and race. The trucks got to be shaken down. They got to be tweaked. Our shocks, because every track is different and every ramp is different. So we really fine tune. The mechanics do such a great job. They fine tune our trucks to the track, to the turns, to the ramps at the particular tracks, whether it be off camber, on camber. So there's so much that goes into it. So we really need a practice session, a qualifying session, and the race. And they were only just going to give us one session and go, okay, go have it. That would have been, if we ever do that, that's going to be mayhem. If we just jump in a truck and we only get one session and it's a race, maybe like 2-3 trucks would finish. Like we'd take each other out. It'd be like the last 5 laps of Daytona.
Definitely. So, have you had any funny memories or have witnessed any moments where mistakes were made in this series, whether it's a flagman not waving the flag at the appropriate time or stuff like that?
Oh, tons of them. I mean, heck, I can fill up probably 2 hours worth of highlight reels on mistakes, just me alone, But yeah, actually, my first win, because early on in the series I absolutely sucked, right? But I was like, hey, I'm having fun, I'm doing that, and I had played the caution the right way. So it's like like when you take the competition caution, when you take the I'm saying when you take the we were on dirt at Lake Elsinore, and you had joker laps, and if you took a joker laps, you can actually basically, it's like a faster way around, but it helps create passing. So I held out my joker lap. I got advice from Paul Morris, who was obviously V8 supercar champion, Bathurst champion, and he was in Australia. And literally 2 minutes before the race is starting, I'm texting him on my phone in the truck, and he's like, "All right, this is what you do, mate." And I followed his advice to the T, and I wound up winning the race. But the flagger, he thought I was like a half a lap behind. But I was actually a half a lap ahead. That's how bad I beat the whole field. Wow. I passed, and I'm like, why didn't they wave the checker? And then they waved the checker to Abdali Lopez, and then I made him go back and check the video, and then they overturned it, and they were like, okay, Bill won the race. I'm like, yeah, I won it I kicked everyone's ass. So, excuse my language. But yeah, I mean, tons of funny stuff. Burt Jenner, man, in Vegas, him and EJ Vizo almost got into a fight. That's some funny video. I wish the series never released it, but it's kind of funny. Ari Lyondike and PJ Jones, Parnelli Jones' son, they would have funny altercations and run-ins. Sheldon Creed and just about everyone would, have run-ins because when he was coming up, he was just a kid, and they were like, well, how's this kid kicking our butt? And then they would be like, oh, Robbie must have changed the truck. So, there's no way that kid's faster than me. So then Sheldon would go up to him and be like, all right, I'll race your truck the next race. They'd switch trucks, right? And then Sheldon would still beat him. So there's so many funny stories,
I witnessed something like that in Nashville during the practice and the qualifying for Stadium Super Trucks.
Yeah, you were there.
Twice the flag person forgot to wave a caution flag when the field was going by under caution, or even just before. And one of the officials was yelling to the other guy, it's caution, wave the flag.
Yeah, see, that's more in our opinion as drivers, because there's times in Long Beach one time, it was actually not our race, but it was the celebrity race, and it was around, I think, turn 7 or 8. And there was a caution there, and they weren't waving the caution, and the cars were coming around so fast. One car hit the car that was stopped. That car then hit the tow truck. So it's more dangerous. Like the flaggers and the track workers have to always be cognizant of what's going on the track and immediately wave the flag, and not just like wave it like this, like vigorously wave the flag, like, because we can sense, like, if they're lackadaisical and they're doing nothing, we're going to think it's nothing. They're like, oh, okay, we're just going to fly around there, because you don't want to lose time or track position. But if if you see a good flagger will be like really waving the heck out of it, and you're like, okay, something messed up is happening. I better slow down because I don't want to be part of the problem. Yeah. So yeah, I remember what you were talking about, because we were on there. They were calling yellow, and then I'm like, I don't see any flags like in my ear. But you always pay attention to race control. They're in your ears all the time. But it was funny, like both times we were looking on the track and nobody was waving the yellow. So I remember what you said. So that's actually really cool that you caught that. Not many fans would catch that.
Definitely. And it happened right next to me because it was in the corner past.
You should have grabbed the flag and started waving it. You should have took it.
Exactly.
I'm working now. Doug Kenny's working. Yeah.
I just needed to climb over the gate, and I could just take the flag and wave it and be like, get out. I'm taking your job.
I'm taking your job. Send the check to me. There you go. That's awesome. Yeah. Are you going to go to any races this year, either of you?
I would like to, if time allows.
Well, why wouldn't time allow?
Exactly. It's never too late, bro.
Yeah. Well, I have to take my mom and dad with me wherever I go. I can't pack up and go.
Maybe try one day. Doug is there for you.
I'm planning Nashville, but I'm kind of going with a couple other friends, so it just depends on whether the circumstances can play out right. So at the moment, I don't know who I'll go with. I'll try to make room for this guy, but it just depends on But at the moment, I have plans for Nashville.
Nice. Well, hopefully we see both of you at races. We'd love to have you, put you in the truck, sit them in there, turn them on, have you rev them, feel that's the thing you got to do. You get in them and you start, don't drive them though. They won't let you drive them, but you can rev them up and you can really feel the power of that Chevy LS7 650 horsepower engine. It's amazing just to feel it. It's I get excited every time.
Definitely. Or I could go to the guy waving the check. I could go to the guy waving the checkered flag and be like, hey, you want to go on a cruise and I could take your job for a day?
There you go. Doug, what were you, Justin, what were you saying?
I said, and you guide them every day.
Yeah, not every day, but, I try to get down to North Carolina. Robbie has his shop down in Charlotte, and full-time drivers get to go down there and test whenever we want. So it's always open. So yeah, if we get a chance to go down there and visit Robbie, that's a pretty fun day to go around his track and jump stuff. And there's actually right next to one of the interstates. So when we're jumping, people are driving like on the highway, and they're looking over and they're seeing us flying, and they're like, it's like we're almost. Sometimes I'm like, are we going to cause an accident? But I guess they're used to it now down there. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Maybe some of them think they're UFOs.
Could be. Pew, pew, pew. Right?
Exactly. And wouldn't it be funny? Can you imagine if Pepe Le Pew was your sponsor with that cap?
Hey, if they're writing the check, I'll take it, right? So anyone's open to sponsorship. So yeah.
All right, that's all we have for now. You want to conclude, Justin?
Yeah, so we thank Bill Hynes for peeling on the can once again, checking out in that Bill. I hope to make it. I gotta go talk to my mom about that right now. So
thank you, guys.
Awesome. So we'll see you all next week for the next episode of Stories from Motorsports.